Hi there, chemistry kids. Well, welcome back to another Chem Minute, and I want to spend a quick minute talking a little bit about some more safety in the chemistry lab. So today we're going to talk about how to handle and carry things that are hot to the touch. And so I have a couple of quick examples that we're going to use today. And the very first thing I want to talk about is gloves. So there will be times in the chemistry lab where we're actually going to wear gloves. And the important thing to note is that different gloves have different properties and they have different purposes as well. Okay? So for example, this glove I'm trying to get on right now, this is a chemical resistant glove. You probably notice these from whenever you're trying to wash dishes at home. They are meant for getting in there with acids and bases, especially soap being a base, and using and protecting your skin and your hand in that situation. Okay? We also have these type of gloves here. These are medical exam gloves. They are meant to help with sterilization and making sure that we prevent the spread of germs and things like that in any type of activity or lab that we do. The problem with both of these gloves, though, is that they are plastic and they are not good for any time that we use heat. So you can look at this one here. The last thing we want to do is touch something hot with our gloves, and the gloves start to melt and burn right into our hand. That's a bad day for us. Okay, not only is your hand just going to hurt, but you're going to get this plastic embedded in your hand. There's really not much of a way to get that out. Okay, the nurses and doctors are going to have a fun time getting that metal out of your skin. However, if we do have something hot, we do have other gloves that we can use, and these are what we call silicone heat resistant gloves. And they're basically silicone that can be used to grab anything and pick up things that are hot. Okay? So we will have different types of gloves in the chemistry lab. It's important to know which one to use when, and because you don't always want to use the same gloves for different aspects. Even better way to pick up things, especially things that are hot, are to use tongs. Okay? And so here are 3 different examples of tongs. You probably remember this from your equipment activity that we did at the beginning of the school year. This little one here, these are known as test tube tongs, and they are exactly what they sound like. They're used to pick up test tubes. Okay? And you can carry test tubes, squeeze them in there pretty easily with those. Okay? We also have these tongs here. These are called beaker tongs, and we can use these to pick up beakers that might be hot. I prefer to use tongs when picking up hot things instead of gloves or even these silicone mats, just because the tong will keep the hot thing at a distance as well. Last but not least, we have these tongs here. These are a little fancier tongs. I like these tongs because these are called crucible tongs, but they have a little point at the end. We can actually use them for different things, different reasons. But really what these are, crucible tongs, is for anytime we have a hot crucible, we can pick up and move the crucible. The crucible basically fits inside this little opening right here. And you're not really squeezing the crucible in this situation. You're basically just resting it inside that hole. And the crucible can get extremely hot, a lot hotter than glass can. Glass is going to break before it gets this hot. These crucibles, they can get very, very hot, so it's important to have a safe way to move them around. They stay hot for a really long period of time. The only downside with these crucible tongs, because we're not squeezing them in place, they can easily fall off the tong. But really, if you hold them right, they stay pretty stable inside of these tongs as you're carrying them around from place to place. Okay? Going down, again, if they do fall out though, you can't go rushing to catch it. Like, oh, you're just going to burn your hand trying to catch that crucible tong. So we have to be very safe in the chemistry lab, and these are a couple ways that we can stay safe by keeping our hands clean, keeping our hands cool when picking up things, and using tongs to pick up hot things, especially hot glass. Because hot glass will stay exactly the same as cold glass.